August. You like that?
Are you fucking nuts?
Get that damn screwdriver out of my hair!
You listen, you little bitch. You hang up on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
I want you to pray to your God. I want you to pray that he comes and saves you.
Do I look like someone who cares what God thinks? Boy!
He pointed to you.
Welcome,
You're up,
fellow
sir.
horror fans. Well,
Fuck it, we're winging it, so.
wing it.
All right.
Wing it. Ready, let's go. Welcome, fellow horror fans, to our little show titled What an Excellent Day for a Podcast. This is episode 12.2 because it's kind of a special one for the listeners out there. We once again thank all of our listeners out there who have taken time out of their busy schedules to give us a listen. Know that we appreciate your support. Now, as we do each time out, join us as we take a stroll down horror lane. Around the horn, once again, we have my fellow horror nerds, Danny C., Joe T., David, and I am JC. Well, the time has finally arrived, and the horror nerds got to see Evil Dead Rise and those nasty deadites in all their fucking glory on the big screen. Did it live up to the high expectations we placed on it? Was the hype for real? Did these horror nerds enjoy it? The verdict is in, so join us as we get together for a special Saturday evening edition to talk some damn Evil Dead horror. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Happy Saturday.
Finally.
All right, we're here, and hopefully this shit will work out.
Yes.
So.
I got faith.
Finally.
I missed the point.
These
missed the
cops
point. I
have
wasn't
come
looking.
back.
Yeah.
That's all right.
What's up,
I fucked
guys?
something else up too, so my cue was a little off.
Yeah, no,
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
And-
We're winging it. It's Saturday, man. We're all taking shots. Danny C's half in the fucking bag already.
I should have had 3 or 4 by now, and if this is actually getting through to Twitch, welcome. We'll
Yeah,
get better at this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, all
who
right. Well,
wants to start off?
holy shit. We saw Evil Dead Rise.
That's right. It was very,
Finally,
very
the most
good.
anticipated movie.
I know. We've been waiting since December when we first brought it up. But
yeah, even before that, when it was first talked about, right? It was supposed to drop on HBO Max, and then we had a long wait for them to kick it into the theaters, which I think is a great fucking idea because I think this movie plays well in a theater with a large crowd.
yeah, but
I was
mean-
surprised how relatively empty my theater was. Not empty, but it was maybe 60-70% full. But then again, it was a Thursday night, so.
Yeah, I only had like 30 people at my theater.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like really, yeah, it was. I was surprised.
yeah, I was like 60%, I think, too. Danny C went on Friday night and definitely dealt with a sold-out crowd. So
Yeah, sold out crowd, and I
You're
bet
still
you
married?
85% of those individuals who went to the movie probably have never even seen the original trilogy. I guarantee it.
Yeah, all on
probably
their
not.
phones.
These youths.
But the one question we need to find out is, did anyone walk out like that other time you went to the theater?
No, definitely
Not only
No.
did I not walk out, this is the first movie, and I don't know how long I didn't have to get up to piss.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
made
usually
sure
at
that
least 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I did the same thing. I made sure.
everyone, check this out over here.
Yeah, we're about to spoil the fuck out of it.
Yeah, because
Spoiler
Oh
alert.
yeah, look at
We're-
Danny.
we're-
Danny's drawing tonight because he's half in the back, so he's drawing for us. We're gonna spoil
yeah, we
the
definitely
shit
don't
out
know how
of
to be
this.
discreet on
Exactly.
this. So yeah, we're just gonna say whatever we want, and yeah, we're gonna give away a lot.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Evil Dead Rise, stop
Then
right
what the
now.
fuck are you doing with your life?
Yeah, well, it's still only a day or 2 out, but just stop. Go
Well, if
see
they're
it.
actually
come
they're
back
actually
to
catching the
us.
Twitch feed, then they're probably gaming. So
Yeah.
I want to talk
Alright,
about
well-
the beginning of this movie. Like,
Someone
best
take the
title
yeah, let's
card
go.
ever.
Oh, best
I agree.
title
That
reveal
was
ever,
amazing.
dude.
But hold on, we can't skip the dog shit that happened before it. We got to talk about.
Why is that dog shit though? Let me hear your thoughts.
There was not one Lego on that entire segment, so you have nothing to complain about.
All right, so obviously we aren't going to talk about the end until we get to the end, but to me the beginning was just, I felt like it was put in the movie strictly so, you know how they're going through the woods
Oh yeah,
before,
they
you
had to
know,
get that
the
shot
credits.
in.
So that's why they
Yeah.
started with that, oh, we're in the cabin woods feel. And then to me, like the
Which I
decapitation
enjoyed.
and it was okay. But like,
Come on,
I
the
don't know,
little nod to the cards from the first one.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I
Wuthering
saw that.
Heights.
I was like, that is perfect.
yeah,
As soon
That-
as they showed the page she was on, you knew that was happening.
yeah.
yeah. I guess I won't criticize the beginning too much until we get to the end and bring up how the movie ended, because
Red.
That's the
Yeah, I mean-
connection, though, right, Joe? That's the connection. That person at the end is that person at the beginning, and it's a day after.
well, yes, I understand that, but once the person gets turned, how in the fuck did they drive to the cabin?
It was sinking in.
Yeah, they turn. They don't turn automatically in this one, which was kind of cool. There's a progression.
I mean,
Well,
it
they
was
definitely
to it.
turned quickly in the apartment complex.
Yeah, there was a little time that elapsed there.
yeah, there was a
bit.
little bit of an evolution.
I'm just
But-
glad it wasn't the same. To be honest with you, the whole movie, there was in an apartment in the city, right, an old bank. So
Yeah, no, I definitely like that part.
it got out of the cabin
Yeah.
in the woods feel from the second Evil Dead.
But magically, a wood chipper and a chainsaw made its way into a city apartment complex, though.
Yeah,
There's
What are
the
the
odds,
odds?
right, Joe?
What are the odds?
yeah. I thought I was watching Halloween Ends for a minute.
I think they missed out on the you know, possibly a subtitle or whatever, but yeah, they should have called it. Was it Evil Bank Records?
But I love the title reveal. I mean, talk about a fucking great
Amazing.
title
When she
reveal,
came out of the
right?
water.
I
as
actually
she's
got
rising out of the
chills.
water.
That
Yeah,
was awesome.
It was like, I'm ready, man. This is an Evil Dead movie. I am ready to go. I am all in.
And even though I'm nitpicking so far, don't get me wrong, I did very much enjoy this movie. And when we do rate it, you know, near the end, you'll see by the score. But there were just small nitpicks where I was like, I guess I went in with too high of expectations to where I wanted it to be almost a perfect movie, and that's damn near impossible.
Yeah, that was the feel that I had when I initially came out of this. I really loved it, but I was like, you know, but the more I think about it and the more I kind of stewed on it over the last, 24, 36 hours and thought about it and, jumped into YouTube, got some reviews and listened to, the more and more I was connecting the dots and my score was increasing. I really enjoyed it. I'll just throw that out there before we even get into it. I fucking loved it. It was a great Evil Dead. You felt like you were watching an Evil Dead movie.
I'm gonna go with.
What is that,
I
Danny?
I was connecting the dots for you.
Yeah, look at Danny C, our resident drawer this evening.
we have
I
the
love it.
artiste, but yeah, I don't think I over or underhyped this. That this movie was exactly what I expected to walk into.
Can we talk about the sound design? I mean, the sound in this movie was fucking amazing.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
there was
it was-
one part.
It
there
was
was
the
one
most
part in
Evil
the movie-
Deadiest.
I think it was when they were in the hallway in the apartment complex where I heard sounds and I literally thought it was someone in the theater. And then, like, a couple seconds
Yes.
later, I realized it was part of the movie. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that was really cool.
Yeah, that I did notice. I caught my I was turning around because I thought somebody was starting
I was
shit
like,
behind
what
me.
asshole is talking right now
Yeah.
in a weird voice?
And the movie was loud, man. It was loud as fuck. That's what I loved about this movie. It was like the sound played a role in the horror of it, which was really cool.
So, I guess I'll just get it out of the way now and be the asshole. from the time I saw the trailer, has anybody watched all of the Hellraiser movies? Or at least like 5 through 7-ish?
I think I've seen the first
Yeah.
4.
Which seems to be pretty standard. Even the most diehard fans usually drop out after 4. But 5 through 7 were spec scripts that they said, "Hey, we could throw a box and Pinhead in this and make a Hellraiser movie."
Yeah.
For some reason, from that first trailer, I felt like this was gonna be a really good movie with Evil Dead thrown into it. And I kinda walked out feeling that's what it was. I really liked the movie. It just I can't even put my finger on it. I'll probably have to watch it a few more times. It just something about it just felt like a movie where they incorporated Evil Dead into the mix. Like, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't
Interesting.
know. Yeah, it just didn't feel enough. Maybe the apartment thing threw me off about it, even though obviously I knew going into it. I like how they used the peephole in the door in lieu of the trap door in the cabin. So it was kind of keeping that theme, but
Yes. Yes.
still,
Love that you call that out. That was
Yeah.
and
Cheryl's seller.
and I think my biggest disappointment of it, even though I called it when they announced what was it, 1,700 gallons of blood for this one. It was either 12 or 17. I forget the number. As soon as they mentioned that, I knew they were going to have a Shining scene.
Oh yeah. The
But
elevator scene.
it's an apartment, but I
Yeah.
knew it, and see, I felt like that took away from the rest of the gore. The rest of the kill, possession, attack scenes just felt like they
I
didn't feel
didn't care.
satisfying enough as far as the blood factor. It's
I
like they
think
took
if you
the
went back, I think if you went back to the remake, Dave, I really enjoyed the remake, the kills from the Deadites
oh
and
yeah.
so forth. They were on point, and I definitely agree there. They were a lot stronger in the remake, the 2013 remake, compared to this one. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I said, maybe my brain's having issues taking in the whole like removed from the cabin thing, but I thought the remake was a, probably the most perfect remake of anything. This,
Yeah.
like I
And
said, it's just not sitting right with me. I thought it was a great movie. I loved it, but like I said, it's going to take a rewatch to maybe either change my mind or connect what my hang up was with it. But I know
should we,
that was one of the
so-
things that it felt like for the big blood scene, they kind of took away from like all the little things. Like there was a scene with a kitchen appliance that maybe that was cut for the rating, but I just felt like as great as it looked, I felt like it could have looked a lot better.
well, that's what I originally heard. That was when I heard someone mention to me before I went to go see it. Was like, "Hey, you'll never look at a cheese grater the same anymore." And then when that scene happened, I was like, "Ooh!" But then I was like, "Art the Clown was a little bit worse." Like,
Well, that's pretty tame for a cheese grater because if anyone's ever seen like local independent wrestling in South Jersey,
oh yeah,
they use a cheese grater more viciously. The one
every
I
match.
wish was, yeah, the one I wanted to be more was when Bridget was eating the glass. I felt
That
like
yeah.
I wanted
yeah,
when you see the glass going through her throat, I wanted a piece to come through.
and I'm
And when
wondering
it
if that
didn't,
was trimmed out for
I bet you
ratings.
it had to be trimmed out. A lot of that movie
when
had to be
when
trimmed
it
out.
didn't happen, to me it took away from the scene, and I was like, this is just almost
I
pointless.
I wanted to see a little Night of the Demons razor blade in the apple action right
Yeah,
there.
like
Right.
something
That's
they had to go more with that.
that's what I
Although
was
they
looking
did go
for.
with the Oculus approach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked
I
it,
mean,
but yeah,
for me, I and it's weird that you say that, Dave, that you kind of felt like you were watching a horror movie and had Evil Dead thrown in. I felt like I was in an Evil Dead movie right from the start on this movie. It was just, from the title the credit to just kind of how it rolled. The pacing was absolutely amazing.
Oh, the pacing
Pacing
was
was
damn near
pacing was
perfect.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was over like that, and I wanted more. Some of the things that I loved, you got nasty with children here too, right? So I love the threat of not teenagers, not adults, right? These were children that were living in an Evil Dead world, and victims in an Evil Dead world don't fare too well.
And
So I love that they had that aspect, and I didn't mind the apartment. I wish we moved around a little bit in that apartment
explored a little
complex.
more of it.
Exactly. We were kind of, within the room and then the garage. The one thing that I loved, and I loved it, but it was a little bit campy too, and it brought you back. I mean, I'll get on the whole Dead by Dawn thing, but the one thing that I want to discuss is through the peephole, watching that action, watching Ellie, who, by the way, was the fucking movie. She was amazing as the Deadite, man. Creepy as fuck.
I don't know.
Watching her kill the other residents.
Cassie might be one of my favorite final girls right now.
She did a really good job. She did a really good job.
I felt her trauma by the end of that movie.
And Bridget was one of the better Deadites because I got a nod from Michael Myers with the sheet over the head. I got a nod of Conjuring. I got a nod of The Exorcist, the whole levitation, right? Like really, truly possessed. Her performance as a Deadite, I thought was just great. But I understand the nitpicks that you guys are talking about. Absolutely shred the fucking leg more. My dog leaves worse marks on my hand when it bites me than that cheese grater did. It scraped the guy. I wanted to see the skin shredded for all that I heard about that.
Like the wound looked great. I just there was like no blood to it though.
Yeah,
like almost none.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
Dan.
thought I thought it was pretty weak when I saw it. I was like, "There's got to be an uncut, unrated version coming out." Where
I hope so.
There's a couple more up and downs.
Because I'm telling you right now, if there's an uncut version and there is still no blood to that leg, this might hit Skinamarink rankings for me.
Yeah, that was a missed opportunity there. And
yeah,
Joe's,
glass better
the
come
glass
from the throat too. Yeah,
two
Yeah,
missed
that
opportunities that I hope.
Even if it didn't even have to go full on Evil Dead exploding out the neck, but just if you saw it just break the skin a little bit would have made it a
So
lot
I
better.
have one question to kind of go back a little more towards the beginning of the movie. And I felt like Ellie was made to be more sympathetic of a character than her sister. And I didn't actually like that. I mean, every villain in a horror movie doesn't have to be the worst person in the world. But if you're going to make the sister end up surviving and taking care of all of them, I just like her sister needed her the most when going through a divorce, being a single mom with 3 kids, and she's calling you, she's reaching out to you, and you're just ignoring her. And I don't know. You could clearly see when she finally showed up that they were gonna try to patch things together before she got turned. But I don't know. I just felt like they made Ellie way more sympathetic. So when she got her end at the end, I was a little disappointed, honestly.
But her or Tusk at the end.
Did you think the whole sister, Ellie's sister being pregnant? Do you think that was necessary?
That was useless.
There were a few lines.
Really.
Yeah, there were a few lines that I thought were unnecessary, but not enough to take me away from it. And I don't think that was a big deal.
To that plot point, in my opinion.
Because
it honestly made me feel less sympathetic about her.
Yeah.
Because that's another.
Oh, Joey.
Did we lose Joe?
All right, so that wasn't just me.
No.
Yeah, no, we lost Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, there he is.
There he's back.
Her being pregnant, and I don't know what that's why I wish maybe down the road Lee Cronin will explain why he put that into the movie, because from what I saw, I haven't gone on and read people's reviews or anything like that. to me it felt unnecessary. I truly don't know why that was put into the movie.
I originally thought when she was like looking at the pregnancy test and then she goes there and the husband left, I'm like, oh, here we go. You're having her kid, her husband's kid, right? It's.
I didn't even
Ooh,
think
I
of
didn't
that,
think of
but
that.
I was
that's
like,
the
wait a
case.
minute.
That's even worse.
Yeah,
I originally thought that, but then she was on tour and he let, and I was like, where are they going with this? Is it even really necessary? And then I know they got a couple one-liners like, you're a whore, you spread your legs, and the
You know how they
Deadites kind
make
of making
that?
comments.
And they were saying it like it was a bad thing.
you know how they make that pregnancy even better? When she was getting attacked by her sister, she started to take her fingers and she started to go into the stomach a little bit, like she knew she was pregnant, right? She was fucking with her, which is great. She
The
should have
two souls.
yeah, she should have kind of like had her get her fingers into where it was actually digging into her skin and she started bleeding. That would have just saying she's pregnant to get a scene like that later on would have been worth it,
Yeah,
in my opinion. Go a
Yeah,
little further with it.
Yeah, I took that whole thing as I not to say that, oh, well, no, it had to be in there, but I think what they were shooting for was that just that added layer of as she's protecting her nieces and nephews, that she was questioning whether or not she was fit to be a mother. And that's why who was
Yeah.
it, Cassie, that threw in that shot, like, you make a really good mom. Like,
yeah, that
I
was
think
just
that was
too
just
much.
her internal struggle. And then
Yeah.
she found out through all of this, like, all right, maybe I can take care of a kid.
I don't. The only thing I remember though is, they're the previous Evil Deads. Anybody being attacked or had some type of damage done by a Deadite, they've always turned. And why didn't her sister turn? She was attacked multiple times, and
Yeah.
that's how I always picked up on little
What-
things like that through the other ones. But I know this is different, and obviously they had to, have a survivor here.
What
Yeah,
did you guys think? Go ahead, Dave.
no, I was just kind of agreeing and probably would have babbled for 5 minutes, but nothing of substance. Go ahead.
What did you guys think of this version of the rape scene? Right, the tree. Now replaced by the cables, right?
The LA
elevator.
vines.
So what did you guys think of that? And did she? I didn't know did she like break her arm? Like her arm was in a weird position. Like I don't know if like she was. It looked like she's like snapped her arm, which I hope was the case because that would have been cool.
I just took it as it had her all contorted.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe a little hyperextending, but I could be wrong.
What'd you think compared to the other two? Right?
It
Compared
was
to
it
Evil
was
Dead
an
and the remake,
effective shout out to the originals.
There was
How
a
they
lot.
kept that in there, but changed it for the surroundings.
It's a nice nod.
How about, do you see the kid's knocking on the door? Hey, you got to come watch the Freddy movies with us, even the bad
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I love that. Was a nice little nod. But a lot of the neighbors, they were really kind of irrelevant. There was no character building with them.
Yeah.
They were just people to take out and become Deadites. And
Yep.
It almost
Yeah, I
felt like
felt
they
the
were going to
same
do
way.
more with them.
yeah,
I don't know why. They had just enough dialogue that I thought they were going to play a bigger role. And as soon as mom got locked out, slash, they're done.
and towards the end, you got the whole entire mutating Deadites that we've never seen before. How did you
Yeah.
feel about that?
Yeah,
You
JC,
mean the thing?
was that a better abomination for you than the remake?
Yeah. So I love the whole body horror thing, and I want to rewind first to the nod to the shotgun removing appendages of 2013. 2013 did it much better. She got an arm shot off. She got a leg shot off right in the hallway. But
Yep.
you saw a quick glimpse. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, 2013 just fucking destroyed that.
Oh yeah.
The Thing at the end, yeah, when they went into John Carpenter's The Thing, and I thought the creature was cool. I liked it when they showed it. I mean, obviously it was like CGI a little bit, and we'll talk about some of the CGI parts that were like, really. I thought it was kind of cool, but I also thought that it became more lumbering. Like now, I was afraid of deadites in a room where you didn't know where they were going to be around each corner. It was dark. Now I got this lumbering fucking blob that's chasing me at the end, and it was cool, but it kind of took me out of it a little bit. I would have rather have just had the deadites, doing their thing as opposed to merging together.
You did get
But
the
I
you
understand.
did get the Toni Collette hereditary the mom on the wall. She's like in the corner, and
Yeah,
Oh, climbing out the
yeah,
ducts
yeah.
out of the
yeah.
vents. Yeah.
But that whole scene reminded me of like Society, right? Do you remember Brian Yesna's Society when they're all kind of together and they're morphing together? Like when
I
they
need to
were in the
rewatch.
hallway. Yeah, when they were in the hallway and they were like sticking their arms in and everything, they were actually joining their mom, right? They were all coming together to create this creature. I don't know. It didn't feel scary enough for me.
I
What
did
happened to
like the
Joe?
whole. Yeah, I don't know. I was just hoping it was another glitch and he was shooting back. But yeah, at the
What'd you
moment I
think
don't.
of it, Danny? Did you like it? The end, the creature.
I guess I was looking for a little bit more. They were really dark with a lot of the presence around the car, like they were creeping around the car, and I'm like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, you know. They're trying to scoot around, and you got a limbering, contorted mother and her children going
Yeah.
around the car, and you're not really getting a full picture until they're actually inside the truck, and even that was kind of,
As they were slowly being chopped away,
yeah.
chopped and then grinded.
Yeah, yeah. Joe, what'd you think of? We're on the creature. I know you dropped off a little bit. What'd you think of the morph into the John Carpenter's the thing?
I didn't mind it. It was kind of cool. It kind of cool. We've seen any movies before. I didn't mind it either.
Is that just me?
It looked kind of cool.
No.
That's weird.
What I had a
I don't know. Dude, did you add a modulator to your phone or something?
No, the same thing happened when John was talking.
Joe, you didn't suck any helium when you were talking.
Find out what you did because I want to do it now.
Oh shit. Oh dude, that's fucking classic, man. Danny, what are you drawing? Oh, is that Evil Dead Rise?
That's the title
Underwater?
sequence. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's the trees in the
Dude,
background.
I thought I had a Chipmunks record on. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like,
Joe, you back with us? There you are.
wow,
Okay.
Joe, did you even hear yourself?
Yes. And that was what you sounded like.
And did you caught
Ah.
whatever he had?
Do I still sound like a balloon?
Joe sounded like a demonite, a deadite.
Oh shit! I don't know what Dave can do about that. There was also a nod with the bridge. Instead of the bridge going out, you had the stairs, right, from the earthquake.
Yeah. And I
was-
heard somebody in the theater being like, why don't they just run down the stairs? They made a point to explain they're not there.
Yeah.
Although I
What'd
did
you-
have a hang up with why was the fire escape bolted shut?
I
Like I
think she
felt like that
bolted
was
it. I think the mom did that, right?
I if she did,
Like it
I
was
missed
jammed.
it. I just know it felt like 10 minutes of the movie was different people trying to break that thing open, and I never knew like they would be locked.
Oh, I love the fact too when you brought up before the the glass eating with Bridget as a deadite, right? I love the fact that why she was eating the glass, right? Because she vomited it like the dark
She needed to
blood that
get
was
them
running
out of
out. I was
her.
like, yes. And then she
Yes.
vomited all those bugs, and she was eating the glass to kill the bugs in her stomach. That was pretty cool.
How about her deep throat and the broken broomstick?
Oh,
That was
yeah.
great.
Shanity, what was it? The Protector?
Yeah.
Charity or Shanity?
Yeah. She took one like a champ. Yeah. Oh, wait. How about the eye? Biting into the eye and spitting it out. No,
Yeah.
so to me, right.
I didn't care for that. You don't have to nod
Was
that way
it?
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, but they played it a little straighter.
They did, but still, that's like
It was-
Jordan hitting a shot from fucking half court.
Yeah,
Right.
it was funny, but it wasn't full on slapsticky. Sticky.
The Dead by Dawn. That was we're like, oh no, here we go. Dead by Dawn.
That was one of the best parts.
So a lot of the nods they ended up going back to the second Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. That's how I took a lot of it.
I mean, look at it this way. You were sweating about how they were saying they were going to do attribute a lot of the first two movies. So I mean, if that's as far as they went with the second one, is it really that bad?
Yeah, no, it was. Listen, this movie was brutal. I mean, it was. I thought it was closer to the 2013. From a serious note than it was to obviously, but and I get why they did some of the nods and to part 2 and all that, but and to part 1, but
yeah,
I enjoyed it, and I still think, like I said, Ellie, she just killed. Alyssa Sutherland, her name was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just crushed it. Her
Absolutely.
performance in this movie was fucking amazing. Amazing. That
See,
smile was such a creep factor. Holy shit.
See, I liked them both equally. Obviously, only one of them was a deadite, but I thought what was it? I thought Beth was just as good of a character.
Yeah,
I seem to be in the minority with that, but yeah, I don't think there was a weak player in the whole thing.
I got a Juliette Lewis vibe.
What's that for Bridget?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was fine. Nothing she did to me made her feel like a bad performance. It was just I felt like some of the writing and including some stuff for her character was the issue.
You know what I hated? I hated the fact that the trailer showed a lot.
Not as much as I thought they would have, though. Yeah, they did show a lot
about it now. Trailer showed a lot.
Yeah, once we see an initial trailer for anything, I don't like as they come closer to the release date, they start having TV spots and more stuff in trailers. I stop watching them after that. I want to see the initial or the teaser just to get a little feel of the movie, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. But I loved it. I thought it was everything that I expected from an Evil Dead movie. It kept me glued to the screen. The sound design was amazing. The Deadites were really great. The blood was, I don't think it was 2013, though. I think 2013 was more brutal, was more vicious, was just the kills and the blood and all that. But this was, I enjoyed every minute that I sat in that theater watching this movie.
Even
to the point where I can't wait to go see it again.
Even Father Campbell's sermon.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about how the book was discovered here in this one. What do you guys think about the whole earthquake, the church, almost like the wreck type? I love the fact that
I did get a very rough vibe from some of that.
Wreck, right?
Yeah.
Yes, with the the whole recording and the priests and all that. So
again,
that was kind of cool.
I'm okay with how they found the book and they found the records, and DJ Danny had to go fuck with the records and play them. But
yeah, I don't get that though. Like, okay, so it was a bank. They said that the whole building or the property was a bank previously.
Yeah.
And then they go down to the vault, and
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, all this religion. And that's why I thought it was funny. I'm like, oh, they're evil bank records because they literally have vinyl records in all these files. And I mean, I thought the way it played out was great. It just didn't make sense. Like, none of this shit would be in a bank, but yet it was.
You would think it'd be in a church, right? Like a vault in a church, right? Or
And
something
and
like
I'm
that. Why would they have this type of
Yeah, and I'm guessing it
religious
was
thing in a
intended to
bank?
be
It's just
like it
weird.
was a bank when, maybe it was an Illuminati run bank or something like that. But yeah, like I said, I love the way it played out, but it just didn't feel right. Like it didn't seem to make enough sense.
I think it was one of the 3 Necronomicon books from Army of Darkness,
Probably.
and it ended up in the
It
bank
was this.
vault.
It was the second book because it
Yeah.
was
It
Bitey.
was the second one. It was Bitey. Yeah. Joe had a comment
Okay.
on how the movie ended with going back. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get
Like,
into that a little bit more, Joe.
I didn't understand why they needed to do it that way. Like, I'm not a big fan of movies that open up with something and then go backwards. And then, to me, the 2 bookends of the movie didn't really have anything to do with the rest of the movie. Like, at least if it had a connection somewhat. And I want to know, I already said before of how the girl was able to drive to the cabin, but how do you wake up? You live in the same exact building. You wake up the next morning and act like nothing happened.
Yeah, for her to be that nonchalant about everything.
The only thing I could think of, Joe, is that if they're doing another one after this, and it's back in the cabin,
Yes.
it's back in the woods. So now it
No.
takes you back. It's back.
Yeah,
there.
like, I understand in a sense that they did it in case they're going to make another one. That's fine. But they could have found another way to kind of shoehorn it in. Like, she just lives in the same exact building, and there was an earthquake the night.
She must have. She didn't use the stairs.
There was an
Yeah.
earthquake the night before, and literally gunshots and all kinds of stuff going off. And you just wake up. And when she calls her friend the next morning, her friend is contemplating whether she's going to go, but she's like, "No, I'm definitely going today."
I need to get the
Like-
hell out of this building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some crazy shit went down last night.
Yeah. I don't think
It was
I don't
a
think
little
it took
too
hold of
forced,
her
in my
that quick.
opinion.
But I understand. Yeah. But
I
I
get
understand
why.
they told this was like deep. Go ahead, Dave.
No,
Finish
no,
your
no.
thought.
Nope. I ain't
I
saying
was just
anything.
gonna say I understand they it was for the spread, right? It was almost like Demons, the movie Demons, right? Now it's outside of the apartment building. Now the Deadites are just free to go wherever the fuck they want, right? This is spreading. So I think that is going to be, to your point, Joe, which is gonna, or Danny, have more movies, right? This is just to continue the Evil Dead franchise. Now they could take it wherever the fuck they want to take it. They want to put it back in a cabin. They want to bring it somewhere else. It's that entity is out now in the world. So
Now, I know it's a
that's the way I
long
saw
shot.
it.
Yeah, it's kind of a long shot, but on the ride home, one thought that crossed my mind because I liked the bookends, but I do understand why people don't like it. It's just so displaced from the rest of the movie. Is there a chance that they could have been implying like this episode was almost like a prequel? Because like in the original movies, they don't really give they don't give any timeline. They're not like, oh, now in 1981, this is happening. It was just generic present day until he goes back to the 1300s. Could this maybe have been like a hint, like, okay, all this happened from this religious bank vault, and that's what got it out into the woods that later, Ash Williams is going to take his girlfriend to? Or
I didn't.
am I going off the rails with that idea?
I think you're going off the rails. I didn't get that feeling, Dave. To be honest with you.
Like that was, I guess, how my
I don't
brain
think the timeline
justified
works.
them
I don't
putting
think
all
that would have
that
been the
in
late
there.
70s.
Right, and
But I'm saying they never actually
the book
gave
then
a timestamp to
the
any
book
of it.
never ended
But-
up anywhere over there either.
But then that lake scene at the beginning would have been before pre-Evil Dead, so that would have been early '80s, late '70s, early '80s, if it was right before the first initial Evil Dead. And I
And
don't
maybe
know
there
if
were time
I don't know
travelers
if
that
the
had modern
clothing
clothing.
jives.
Not just the clothing. There
I'm
was a
trying to
drone.
justify all that.
And there's a drone
was-
too. That's right. No, there's no drone in '80. What'd she do with that drone? Like, why would she shove it in her eye? Like, I didn't.
No,
I
she
didn't
I don't
chopped
know.
up.
catch the-
She chopped up her face a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
even,
But
saw it.
still,
You
even
saw
though
the
they
cut.
just said like, oh, it won't cut your head off. It'll just bang you up pretty good.
someone still needs to explain to me how she drove to the cabin, because I'm not buying that. I know you guys said it earlier, and I'm not trying to repeat what we talked about, but I'm not buying that. After getting turned, she was able to successfully drive to the cabin.
Do you
Yeah,
know
well,
if
why-
she drove to the cabin though?
But
Yeah,
what's
she
her
gets
face?
into her own car.
Yeah, but the chick from Evil Dead, the remake, she got in a car and started driving. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, I forgot how
How
slow
far?
of a transition she had. Yeah, I
Yeah,
gotta,
Mia had
I
a
just
slow
gotta watch.
transition.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to go back to the theaters and go watch this. I'll wait until they come out with the unrated version. To be honest with you,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm close with Joe on how I feel about the movie. Overall, but I'm not going to go out of my way and go pay another, $18-19 to go sit through the theater and watch it. I'll watch it when it comes back on. It didn't pull me in that much where I was like, oh man, this is the best horror movie of the year so far. I think it's one of the better ones, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it was still very good to me,
Yeah.
but like the 2013 remake destroys it on every level. Like
That's how I felt. I think I rated the remake, the Evil Dead remake 2013 version. I think I rated like an 8. This one, to be honest with you, I'd probably give it like a 7.1 to 7.2. That's how I felt about it. I felt like the story was okay. It went nice pace. Did they really need to go back and do those nods to the originals just to get some fluff in there? Okay. The whole they kind of redid the whole Shining scene with the elevator with the blood dumping out. Pretty cool, but could they use those gallons of blood differently?
Yeah.
It could have been in the kitchen sink and it blasts up, and it fills up the whole
Yeah, there
entire
was no
apartment.
spraying of blood like
Like-
Evil Dead does.
Like that would have been a perfect opportunity for the blood to come up
Yeah.
through the sink, and it fills up the whole entire apartment door, and it bursts open the door so now Ellie can get back into her family and kid. That's what I think that would have made more sense to me, other than them trying to get an exit and dealing with all that blood where it fills up. And that's just my take on it.
Mhm. And as we're all talking about it, I'm thinking that's
Yeah.
what it was. How I said something's not 100% sitting right with me, and I think it's just collectively like all these little things that have been brought up this whole time. Maybe it's just all that's adding up in my head, and like I said, I really like the movie.
But look,
Just something didn't feel Evil Dead enough for me. It was almost as if it was inserted. And I know they said like Raimi, didn't they say he handpicked Cronin to do this?
And Lee Cronin did fine. I think he did fine for what he was given and what was available. I know Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi were executive producers on this as well.
Yeah.
So
And
obviously
he's a
he's
fan.
gonna listen. Lee's gonna listen to them too, as he's developing this. Obviously, so it's probably a lot of them talking
So you're
through
at
a
a-
lot of that.
you're at a 7.1 then, Danny?
I'm at a 7.1, 7.2, somewhere around there. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think I agree with Dave. If you take, the Necronomicon out of it, it's kind of like just placing there. Here's the story around it. It's not. You're not getting that bonus ad.
Yeah, I almost feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more if it wasn't under the umbrella of Evil Dead. Like I thought it was a real. I almost saw it as a good 8.5, 9 possession movie.
And I think that's what Joe T said. Didn't you say that, Joe, originally?
yeah, like I don't know. It just some stuff felt too forced and placed in at certain points. Like Dave kind of said that some things were unnecessary. Like to me, the wood chipper. I know it. Like the wood chipper and the chainsaw being there in that parking garage made no sense to me. They're literally living. We're in California somewhere in a high-rise apartment. There's no trees around. There's no reason for that stuff to be there. But it's in there because it's an Evil Dead movie.
It was the chipper that was left over from Halloween Ends show. You just didn't connect the dots.
Yeah, Laurie dropped it off when she moved back out
Remember?
west. So.
Connect the dots.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize how close Haddonfield was to California, and I should have realized it. But
so Dave or Joe, give us the rankings. Let's stick with one of you guys as you wrap up on this
I'd go, but I don't normally give like point whatever other than that one shitty movie we mentioned sometimes. But to me, I'd give this a 6.75 or a 6.5 only because I'm not going to give it a 7 because that's what I rated the original Evil Dead, and I would still take that movie over this movie. But I still very much enjoyed this, so I'll give it like a 6.75.
How about you, JC?
I mean, I understand what you guys are saying about the, Evil Dead. You felt like this could be a possession movie, and there was little, it didn't feel like a real Evil Dead movie. I look at this movie as I look at the Conjuring universe, right? So this movie is, I hope they continue down the road with more Evil Dead movies because this existed in the Evil Dead universe. I wasn't trying to compare this to Evil Dead 1 or Evil Dead 2 and the book and the way that script is written out. This was Deadites' possession, because that's what Evil Dead is, right? They possess the bodies of the living. This was this taken out of the cabin and into, the city, and it was in the universe of. So I approached this movie that way without trying to fit it into the Evil Dead, right? It was part of the universe for me, and I'm glad that they're going in that direction. I love this movie. I thought there was areas where they could have really done a lot better, and I hope the unrated version. I hope there were scenes where they did go balls to the wall on the glass and the Devro and the cheese grater. Right? I hope there's more to that because I think that only makes the movie even better.
Take a few teaspoons out of that elevator and put it in everything else.
Exactly, right? Show me some shredded flesh. I mean, the pacing was absolutely amazing in this movie. The sound design was absolutely amazing in this movie. It immersed you, right? You felt like the sound design scared you just as much as the what you were seeing on the screen.
Yeah, and it was shot amazing too.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the threat of the family. I love the threat of, in the Evil Dead, you always had friends. You always had people this was family. It felt like more real because the threat was there that by the way, the titty sucker reference to the children, fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You little titty suckers.
Oh right? Yeah, there was some nasty lines taken by her.
Vicious. She was vicious. But for me, at the end of the day, I did it hit 2013? No, 2013 for me is still tops. I rated that a 9. I will say that this is a solid 8.2 for me. And one that I'm trying to see if I can wrangle my buddies to go. Whoever wants to go, maybe next week to go see it again. I definitely want to see it again. And then hope for the unrated version. I'm sure it's going to drop on HBO Max probably in fucking June.
Hopefully it gets a little.
But for me, I enjoyed it.
I was going to say, who am I kidding? I'll end up finishing the.
I went in anticipating it. Yeah, it hit the mark for me. It was everything that I expected, that I wanted out of an Evil Dead movie. I just wanted it a little bit more brutal, a little bit more bloody in certain areas.
All right, at least it seems like we all agree on that much.
Did you grade it, Dave?
I'm as of now, just because, like I said, I had these hang-ups. I'm going to lean closer to Joe. on this, but I think I might go 6.5 on this. Like I said, as far as a flat, straight up possession movie, I think it would have been way higher, but because there's some Evil Dead element that's not 100% clicking with me on this. Like I said, I just feel like it was the Deadites and the book were inserted into an otherwise really good movie anyway. So right now I'm going with a 6.5 first watch. I'm hoping on rewatches it hits me better and it goes up. But yeah, I'm gonna sit with that. I was thinking 6.75, but I think that's where I put Evil Dead 2, and I don't even think I like, as far as the Evil Dead universe, I think I still like 2 a little more. So, yeah, 6.5.
Well, hopefully we're not going to wait another 10 years to get another one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I
Exactly.
agree.
I hope that, and I think this movie will rake it in the box office. I think it'll do well. I think it did like 2.5 million just on Thursday alone. I think it'll do pretty well, and hopefully that'll trigger them to do another movie sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a lot of horror movies having pretty good openings so far in 2023.
Yeah, I think this is going to be successful
Exactly,
enough
Joe.
to
And,
continue it.
Yeah,
and
Megan, Knock at the
listen,
Cabin.
kudos.
Go ahead.
But
No, I was
guys,
just saying
really,
the ones that
kudos
came out.
So somebody's lagging.
So am I lagging? Can you guys hear me?
No, go ahead. Kudos.
I just wanted to
Go
say
ahead.
kudos to these horror movies that are getting released into theaters. Terrifier 2, Evil Dead Rise, right? You're starting to see bloodier movies, right, that you probably wouldn't have seen in the theater a while back starting to penetrate the theaters right now. And that's only going to be great for horror moving forward.
Yeah, horror's becoming brutal again. So, any
Anybody
last
see the
thoughts?
Pope's Exorcist yet?
I heard it was
I
really
didn't.
good, but I have not.
I haven't.
Okay.
So, you catch it yet, or JC? Did you
No,
watch it?
no. I didn't see it yet. No, I didn't see it. I probably will though, just because it's exorcism.
What was the Priest movie with Tobey Maguire and Robert Downey Jr.?
I'm drawing a blank.
What the hell was that?
Something like "Father, forgive me" or some shit.
It was in Tropic Thunder. It was.
And Kirk Lazarus.
All right, guys.
All right. Well,
All right.
I think at this point we should quit while we're ahead. And yeah, if anybody's actually catching this live, thanks for in partaking in our little experiment here. And
find us on What an Excellent Day for a Podcast
.com.
on Apple and Spotify.
Yeah, just all over the place. Anywhere you want to look or listen to something, just type in the name. We use the number 4, not the word, just because it's enough letters going on as is.
We got 12 great episodes already loaded up.
Yep. And yeah, starting to pick up some momentum.
Joe, start working on Alyssa.
I'm trying.
Interview.
Like I said, I feel like she's going to be untouchable for at least 6 months.
Well, she's going to be at the Monster Mania convention in Cherry Hill, New Jersey in August. So
yeah, we are going.
Yeah,
for sure.
It would be funny if at the end of it all some freak accident happened and she's like the only one there.
I think the kids are going to be there. I
can't imagine they wouldn't be.
Yeah, that'd be cool for them.
So
yeah, that's going to be
better group of people than Sons of Anarchy. So I'm hyped already.
Yeah.
Don't be poo-pooing on Sons of Anarchy, Joe. Come on.
Yeah, I love Sons, but I feel like they could
Rise
put
merch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to Monster Mania to see Sons of Anarchy. Come on.
I don't know. Jax was a monster sometimes.
No, but you went to go see Ralph Macchio at Monster Mania, Joe. Come on.
Yeah, right.
That is true. That is true.
Touche, Danny C.
Yes,
Touche.
yes, yes.
All right. This was fun.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys.
Appreciate
All
everybody's
right,
time.
toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Peace.
Ciao.
Enjoy. Stay spooky.
Whoa.
You've been listening to What an Excellent Day for a Podcast. Check out our entire catalog on excellentday4apodcast.com. Also on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts. Have a question? Email us at excellentday4apodcast@gmail.com. Follow us, engage, and share all our socials. Twitter at excellentday4a. And search us on Facebook and YouTube at What an Excellent Day for a Podcast. Stay spooky, and thanks for listening, fuckers.